Hi, Booktube. So I'm doing the Booktube newbie tag. Nobody tagged me, just like they didn't tag a lot of people, but I am new to the Booktube and creating content, but I'm not new to Booktube. I've been following you guys for years. Uh, so I wrote down questions. Let's get to them. Question number one is, where are you joining us from? I am joining you from the great state of Ohio. Question number two. How old are you? Old. Like, old. At least people on YouTube think old. 31. Question number three. Why did you join Booktube? I am joining Booktube because it is an amazing group of people. I love everyone. You know, I've never come across someone that I didn't like on Booktube. I've commented on many of your videos, and I've just decided, hey, I'm going to make some content. See where it goes. Question number four. What is the meaning behind your name, your channel name? It's just my name, Donald, and then blogs, books, because I have a website, donaldblogs.com. That blog is not just about books, but it will be majority about books. It will have some other stuff to do with like anxiety and stuff and just general life stuff. So question number five is, what kind of books do you read? I read everything. I love political books. I love memoirs, biographies. I love young adult, like sci-fi stuff. I love it all. I love poetry. I write poetry. So, a lot of stuff. Question number six. Question number six. Some of your favorite authors. So, I'm going to say Stephen Kuntz, Agatha Christie, J.K. Rowling. I mean, who doesn't love J.K. Rowling? R.L. Stein, Patrick Ness, Jeanette Winterson. The list goes on and on. But those are some of them. Question number seven. What's the last book you read? The last book I read is actually right up there. And that's how I'm going to do this video, my video content on my channel. The last book I read will go up there. Sort of give them a spotlight. This book is Elders by Ryan McElveen. It was not that great. It just wasn't. It took me a long time to read this book, and it generally doesn't take me forever to read a book. I just wasn't feeling it. I don't know why. But it's about a Mormon guy, well, two Mormon guys, teenage boys. They are going out on missionary in Brazil, and it's a coming of age of sorts. The one boy's from America, it's McLeod, and he is questioning everything, but he wants to do the missionary work to praise, get praise from his father, blah, 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 blah. The other is Passo, brain fart. He is a Brazilian missionary, and he is trying to bring his family out of poverty. So he's using his religion and trying to gain status and make his family better. But it just wasn't my cup of tea. But I mean, I got the book for $1, so was it a waste? I don't think so. Question number 8. What are you currently reading? So I'm gonna have to move my list. And I am currently reading The Secret History of Las Vegas by Chris Abani. So far, it's good. I got this. This will be in one of my haul videos for the Spookathon. It's a pretty good book so far. I'm on page, if I can get it, 105. So this, I mean, I'll have to give you more. I can't really give, but so far it's a good book, and I don't want to spoil it. Question number 9. What do you use for bookmarks? And we will pull this out, and it is a index card. I started using index cards, it would have been in 7th grade. We were given a book to read, which would be The Giver. Great book. If you have not read it, I would be shocked, but it is a great book. You should read it. We were in English class, and I'm like hurrying. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. And the teacher would always get mad. Don't be bending the pages. So I had a bookmark, or I mean a bookmark. I had an index card, and I just crammed it in there. I was like, sweet. And then slowly it sort of turned into, I would write page numbers or like quotes from the book onto the bookmark. and I would go, and if it was something I thought was funny, because I like to read a lot of like comical stuff. Kathy Griffin's books, you know, if you don't know her, like read it. It will make you laugh. Chelsea Handler. So, like I said, I read a lot of different books. I'm a weirdo. But yeah, I mean, I would do that, and then I would go to my mom and I would say, oh my gosh, I just read this line and it changed my life. Like I had an epiphany, blah, blah, blah. So, question number 10 is current TBR pile. So, to be read. This was in it, but now I am reading it. These two books that I'm getting ready to mention, I just got up last week. So, my thing is, I don't really have a TBR pile. I just buy books and I sort of pick them up. Like, I'll go to the store and I'll be like, oh yeah, that sounds interesting. I'll get this book. And then if I get it and read it one day, I get it and read it. If not, it's no big deal. But my current ones that I sort of really want to read are The Middlesteins. And this is by Jamie Attenberg. So it is about Edie and Richard Middlestein. So they've been together for a long time in the suburbs of Chicago. And they're going through like some family issues and stuff. And Edie starts like overeating and they're like questioning, you know, is it all on her shoulders? Why she's gained all this weight and being unhealthy. And I love to eat, so. Then the other one is Mount Terminus by David Grand. And it's like a coming of age type. It has love in it and stuff. And it's about the birthplace of Los Angeles. But those are on my current TBRs. Question number 11 is, what do I prefer? Hardbacks, paperback? Do I prefer to own or borrow a book? Do I like ebooks? 90% of the books that I've had up to within the last year have been ebooks. I love my Kindle. It just is easy. I can pull it up on my phone if I'm away. It made it so much easier. But there's nothing better than a book. Like, I can smell it. Sometimes I'll pick up a book and I'm like, that smells good. It's going to be a good book. But it's like nostalgia. It's like, oh, yes, you're just relaxing, reading that book, smelling that ink. Hashtag weirdo. But yes, and owning or renting or borrowing a book, the library is a great place. A lot of books that I get, I don't really... At one point, I had a lot of books, and I was in the Army, and I had to get rid of them all. So, because moving around with all those books was just not really the greatest thing to do. It was a pain in the behind. So I'll keep a collection of books and like something I really, really want. But for the most part, I'll donate those away to the library because there's a lot of people out there. I mean, it's hard. A lot of people don't like the idea of a library because it doesn't support authors. But at the same time, libraries are there for people who possibly don't have $5.99 even to go buy a book. And I just think it's great. It's a great way to get people to read, and I do not down that one bit whatsoever. Question number 12. What book series got me into reading? It was two, but it was mainly number one, Amelia Bedelia. So we're going way back to 1990. I'm 5 years old. My mom, she reads. I mean, I'm going to do another video where I'm going to sort of go through my evolution of book reading. But my mom would read to me in her belly, and all throughout childhood, there's pictures of me just like, read me a book, mommy, please. I love stories. So the series that got me hooked was Amelia Bedelia, and that was because we were at the public library, and I'm just like, oh God, Mom, please, not here again. Because we would go there and be there for like 3 hours, and this woman would leave with like stacks of books. She'd have to, it was hell. So I'm just there one day, and I'm like, you know what, screw this shit, I'm going over here, because they got like paintings on the fucking wall, like a big mural. I'm gonna go check it out. And it just so happened this book was on the floor, and my mom was like, she's always raised me, like, if something's on the floor, pick it up at a store, put it on a shelf, something. So I pick up this book, and I'm like, what the hell, it's a maid. And I'm like picking through it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I like this. So I read that first Amelia Bedelia book, almost all of it, at the library. It was like a littler one. And I think it was like from 1962. So anyhow, my mom finally comes, and she goes, oh, you found a book. Told you you'd like it. I'm like, you didn't tell me nothing about this book, woman. Like, I picked this up off the floor. You know, Don't tell me that you told me you'd like it, because my mom, that was the biggest thing, the reason why I didn't read books, like from the library and stuff, was because my mom would always be like, oh, here's a book, you should read it. It's a good read. Here's this book. And no, my mom doesn't sound like that, but in my head she did. And I would just be like, I'm not reading that book. I'm not interested. So that's just me. I have to be interested in a book to pick it up and read it, you know. And that Amelia Bedelia did it. And then the librarian was like, well, we can get more in for you. There's a whole series of this. And I was like, okay, great. So I started going to the library and getting books. And then it turned into the Babysitters Club. And then just the Boxcar Boys and R.L. Stine and all the Goosebumps books and stuff. It was, I love books. And then I sort of, I don't know. I just love to read books. I'm getting nostalgia. I'm getting old, people. So question number 13. How did you discover Booktube? So, I am currently in college, and I was taking a composition course, and this was last year, and I thought, I'm going to write poetry, or I'm going to do something. And I am currently writing on I'm working on 3 books, but I needed some like inspiration and some guidance. So I'm like, there has to be something on YouTube about this. There's something on YouTube for everything. And before the Booktube thing, I'm like watching Jeffree Star. I'm watching Tyler Oakley and Shane Dawson, and I'm just watching all the crazy fun videos and like just living for it. And so because of my composition course and wanting to write, books and things, I found all these great people that all they talked about was books. And I'm like, who the hell does this? But I loved it. I was hooked. And I came across a channel, which I'll talk in a minute about, but this person just was funny and great. And I watched like 23 videos the first night. I was up until like 8 a.m. in the morning. It was insanity. So, question number 14. What challenges do you feel you'll face with your channel? My biggest challenge I think that I'll face with this channel is creating content and getting it uploaded. Just because of time constraints. I'm the general manager of a big pizza chain. I'm not going to say the name, but I work there full time, and then I go to college because I plan on becoming an attorney, a business law attorney. So that is going to be my biggest hurdle. But at the same time, I'm like, we make time for things that we want and we love. So quite possibly, I'm just going to record videos and stuff and probably not do a lot of editing. I'm going to try and just talk and get it through there. And then maybe my mother can help me like upload. She's becoming tech savvy. Like it's beyond me. I'd say about 8 years ago, she didn't even know how to turn on a computer. I had given her my old computer and I'm like, you need to learn how to get on here and do some research, woman. Like the internet is full of everything. Like get on there. So she would call me up one day and she's like, how do I turn this thing on? I'm like, the freaking power button, woman. It's a big round button. Like, turn it on. She's like, okay. Now it's doing something. It's just sitting here and it's like doing little circles. Like, what am I doing? And I'm like, oh my God, woman, it's booting up. It won't take forever. Just sip your damn coffee. So I started having to write Post-it notes like, this does this. And because she would call me every 5 minutes where, okay, this just happened. What do I do? Okay, how do I get out of this page again? But now she's like, oh, you need to clean your computer. You need to do this. And I'm like, bitch, I don't know what you're talking about. So she's outdone me now. By far. And she's into online gaming, which I find weird. But that's not about books. So we'll talk about that in another video maybe. Question number 16 is, who are some of your favorite booktubers? So I talked about coming across Booktube. And it was Books and Bullshit. Like, that's the channel, Books and Bullshit. If you guys are new to booktubing and you just found this, go check out Books and Bullshit and go back 3 years ago and watch his videos. He cusses a lot, and like, I love cussing. I don't know why, I always have. And he's like, motherfucker this and bitch and fuck shit. And it doesn't bother me. I love it. And he has good information, so check him out. Peruse Project, love that channel. I'm going to talk about some newer ones because, I mean, there's some great people coming on the scene. A Dash of Ash. Peter Likes Books. Well, let's just skip that one for a second. Let's go to Wolf Shop Publishing. That guy is, like, he's sexy, okay? He's fine. His name's Cameron. So ladies and gents that are of a certain persuasion, go check him out. He's eye candy, great accent. Like I could listen to him. Like he needs to just read books. Like read books for me, okay? And Peter likes books, so this guy, he had me cracking up months ago. Like 5 months ago, I come across this guy. He's like sitting in a pink trucker hat, and she's like, "Oh my god, girl," blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, "Dude, you're fucking awesome. Like I love you." And he just cracks me up, and he has great information, you know. And he's like, he gives his viewpoint, and he does not give two shits. You're either gonna like it, you're gonna click like, whatever, and then, but he's blowing up. He's got another channel, Peter Mon, and he is like all about Shane Dawson. Shane Dawson's the next husband. If you do not know who Peter Mon is, check him out. He is fucking hilarious. So that is all that I have for this video, and it is at 15 minutes, almost 16 minutes. And my internet is extremely slow, so it'll probably take 2 days to upload this shit unless I go to Taco Bell and steal their internet. So thank you. You guys can subscribe to me. Oh, you know what? There was one on here. Where can we find you? I knew I messed up with one of them. Okay, so question number 15. Let's backtrack. Where can you find me? www.donaldblogs.com. That's my new blog post. You can check me out at Donald Rains on Twitter. You can also check me out at DonRainsOH. It's my other channel. I haven't uploaded in like a year, but I have like National Coming Out Day video and Chubby Bunny Challenge and stuff like that. So that stuff will be linked below. But I hope to see you guys more on this channel. We are going to do a lot of great stuff on here and try and have fun. And I just can't wait to be a contributing member of Booktube. Bye.